Good morning everybody, it's me Paddy from across the shuck and I'm doing a wee review video of one of the flipper knives Tony Meteor sent me from California. This is the first of two and I haven't got a whole lot of information about what the model make of this is because it was a gift. I didn't go searching. I don't want to know how much it costs. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all how much it costs. It's a beautiful knife and I just want to review it on the knife that it is. It's a two-son knife, I can tell you that. It's from China, made in China. It's a titanium handle and a D2 blade. And the blade length, the cutting length of the blade, I'm getting this all out of the way first. The cutting length of the blade is 3.5 inches, which is 9 centimeters. The handle is 4 3/4, which is 12 centimeters. The total length is 8 3/8, so it's quite a long blade. It doesn't look it, I think, because it is such an intricate handle, it makes it look quite small from a distance, but it's a long enough blade. The blade thickness is 1.4 inches, 3.5 millimeters, and the handle is 0.44, which is 11.3 millimeters. And the weight of the knife is 4 ounces. It came to 3.99, so I'm saying 4 ounces, 113 grams. And while we're on the subject, while I was doing this review, and I was actually watching YouTube one night, and a fella I follow called Stassa 23, I'll put the name of his channel down below, great channel to go to, and he was reviewing a charade knife with a titanium handle D2 blade. Now, it's a different shape than this, and it comes in a variety of different shapes, but the handles were so similar, I would nearly make you think they were made in the same factory because they're so similar. And it was just a point of interest. I think the handle's beautiful. It took me a while to warm to it, to be honest with you. I'll bring it up closer so you can see it. It did take me a little while to warm to it, but now I actually love it. And because it's such a long blade, and we all know if you're going into the office, if you're going anywhere that sort of scared people are, for whatever reason, I don't know, but that looks really attractive and it doesn't look big in my hands. You know, it is a big knife, but it doesn't look big, and I think it's because of the attractive blade. So if I was to take this out in the office, and as long as I showed whoever it was, look, it's quite a big blade, I'm just showing you, I think that puts them off, and it's only a simple matter of doing that and unfolding it slowly, and it's less scary. Now, it is a long, slim blade, but again, I think the handle takes away from that stabby, daggery look that it could look like. There's a lovely swedge on the top of it, and the two-son is done nicely. I'll go take you around the blade and we'll have a nice look at it. This is really well milled, and it provides an awful lot of grip. There's 2 torque screws here, and this is a proprietary one. But to be honest, a flat handle screwdriver in there opens it up. And I took this knife apart, which is quite brave for me. I've never done that before. And it's on bearings. Now, the one thing I did notice in this knife before I took it apart is when I flipped it, after about 20 or 30 flips, the blade handle would get loose and it would move across. So I took it apart, gave it a good clean. It wasn't that dirty, to be honest, it was brand new. I just cleaned it all up and put it back together so that I could say that it was definitely bearings. So I've got it a wee bit tighter than what it will eventually be. It will wear in a little bit looser than what it is. It's fine, and it suits me. I have no problem. So on the top of the blade, there's jimping here. Now, if you can see that, I'm going to bring it up as close as I can to you. If you can see that, it's such narrow, not very deep jimping, but it is the most purposeful jimping I have ever known on a knife. Your finger goes on it and it catches it and it just doesn't move. Amazing jimping on the top of it. Whatever the way he's got the angle, it's just perfect. So you can see the flipper is now the guard at the front here, a very substantial guard, and even it's hollowed out. It is a flow-through construction, and I don't need to go in close because it's not milled out at all. There's no need for it to be because there only is the 2 standoffs, full titanium handles. It's light enough. And if I go around to the other side of it, again, it's a pretty sterile blade on this side with just D2 written on there. And it's a frame lock, and the frame locks up to about, it's probably just over 50%. Again, it hasn't moved, and I've really given this some flipping. It's a milled pocket clip, which is amazing in the pocket. It diverts the knife to the right hand side of your pocket and you don't feel it because it's such a slim knife. You do not feel that when it's in your pocket at all. One of the best pocket clips I think I have. If it had been deeper carry, it would have been even better because I quite like it. There's a large place at the end here for your lanyard if you want to put a lanyard on it. And I have to say, one thing I found out, because I was saying in my last video when I done my Ganzo flipper, I have no great experience. The Ganzo flipper was the first large flipper I'd had, so I had no experience. And now I've got 3 of them in the space of a couple of weeks, which is great for the experience of them. And I think I was talking last night to one of my friends, and I was saying, do you know, I was trying to write a review for this knife and about its flipping ability and comparing it to others, and you can't. That's what I found out with flippers, because they all have their own personality, which is wonderful, because I was trying so hard to think of something that drew them all together, and the only fact is the flippers, because this one, you have to be intentional, because if you're not, it just will not open. Now, when you're intentional, it flies open, absolutely no problem. It enjoys the push button rather than the light switch, but I'll just show you now. It does a light switch all right, but it prefers the push button. So, and that's different than my other knives. All 3 of them are different, which is great because it's given me a better grounding on flipper blades. It let me see that they are all different, much like our thumb studs. They all flip differently. I expected flippers to be all much the same, and they're by no means not. They're not the same at all. The D2 steel in this, the edge that this came with, I have not needed to touch. It is absolutely razor sharp. And after about 5 days of constant use, still haven't had to sharpen it. Now I stopped it. And this is another confession in my videos. I'm a bit OCD. Most people, when they're doing a test, they'll not sharpen a knife. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. For the week that they're using it, I can't do that. I've tried, but I get to the end of the day and I'll look and I'll see a bit of residue or I'll see something and out comes the stropping board. I clean it and then strop it just for a couple of swipes. So I'm sorry, that's the way it's going to be. I just can't do it. I can't let it go a week without cleaning it and stropping it. But the D2 on it is absolutely beautiful. It's a thick blade, but it slices so well through cardboard. Now, I'm going to set that down and I'm going to bring a couple of knives out just for a bit of a comparison to this. This was my other lovely gift, which was the Ganzo G749. Lovely knife, and it's exactly the same size, well, nearly exactly the same size. There's not much difference in the 2 of them. A thicker, a longer, deeper blade, probably a bit better for slicing food and things, but absolutely lovely. Completely different flipper. This one you have to give it a flick of your wrist to get it to come out, because there's thumb studs and I wanted to be able to use both. So I've had to compromise. This is just purely a flipper. There's no thumb studs on it. And to give a better sort of size comparison, there is the wee Delica, and you can see how much smaller the Delica is. So these 2 are a right size of a knife. They're a good long knife. They're both sturdy, hard-working knives. This looks delicate, long, and sort of elegant. I think, now, yeah, there's me. I'm going to change. A couple of weeks ago, I said a gentleman's folder should be no more than about 3 inches. That's a 3.5 inch blade. And to me, you're not going to get much nicer as a gentleman folder. It's slim. It's elegant looking. I would be able to pull this out. And I just honestly believe women, men, children would say, oh, isn't that attractive? So, I mean, because that's the way I look at it. I look at it as a really attractive blade, and something I'm proud to carry about with me. I'm glad to say it. And once again, I just want to thank Tony. It's a beautiful knife. It did take me a while to warm to this handle. So if you've never had a handle with this, to me, it's nearly like a, how can I put it? It's nearly like a work of art. It's like an Art Deco sort of handle shape. Is it Art Deco or is it the other one, the flowing one? Can't remember. It doesn't really matter. But to me it is. It's like a piece of art. And I took a photograph with it on my Instagram during the week, which is, it's sitting on top of a picture frame, and there's a bowl of flowers behind it. And it's one of the nicest photographs of a knife, even though I'm blowing my own trumpet, that I have ever seen. And it makes this stand out in the beauty of just a piece of metal. A bit of titanium, a bit of D2 blade, but the beauty of that knife in that picture just said it all. My review actually, it'll just fall in comparison to that knife. So if you get a chance, pop over and have a look at it. It's a beautiful picture. So what else have I got to say about that knife? I have done everything with this knife that you do around the house. I haven't really used it outside, but it's been around the house. It's cut up everything that I have without it. With D2 it's bound to. I mean, it's never going to struggle. It's holding an edge. Again, I've stropped it since I changed over about 2 days ago to my next flipper to get time with it for a view. And I stropped it, and it is just razor sharp again. It doesn't need sharpening, that's for sure. It's razor sharp. And I haven't got anything here. I said I was going to do that every time, but there we go. I haven't got anything to do it. No, I haven't. We'll see. Here's a bit of paper here. This is my notes paper, because if I don't write it down, I'll forget it. This is not really, it's just thin note paper, but it's just to let you see that it is absolutely razor sharp. Absolutely. So, there you go. Thank you very much for listening. Now, this is a different view, and I've done this when I was doing the stone sharpening, of which I'm going to do the repeat. Well, no, hopefully it's going to be a better one. I'm going to get a pebble from either a river or down the seashore at the weekend and do a sharpening video on it. But do you like this angle? If you don't like it, I'll change it and go back to my other one. There's no problem. If you have any views on that at all, let me know down below. I'm looking forward to doing the other challenge. I should have known that last bit of slate was too soft after about 10 seconds. I known it wasn't going to sharpen it, but I didn't, so there we go. Once again, thank you very much to all my subscribers, and thank you for the comments. I love having a chat in the comment section. The wee channel's coming along great, and I look forward to plenty more. So at the weekend, I'll see you with another sharpening challenge. Early next week, I'm going to review the other flipper I got, which I'm going to give you it is probably the best value knife that I have in my collection, bar none. It's going to get quite a positive review. And to be honest with you, I would say this knife's much more expensive than it. I don't know, I've never seen it, but even saying that and how beautiful this is, the other one is just stunning. Absolutely stunning, and such a nice blade to work with. So that's exciting for me, exciting for you next week, because you'll get a chance to see it. I hope you've liked this knife. I would fully recommend this knife. I don't even know where you get it. so I can't tell you where to get it. I can't put in the instructions. But Tucson, it's a Chinese knife, so I would say DH Gate is probably a good place to start and then work from there. But a lovely knife, and I am so happy to have it in my collection. So once again, thank you to Tony, thank you to you all, and I think I've said that 3 times now, so I'm going to go. All the very best and the top of the morning. Tell you from wee Paddy. Bye.